So when I was working on my Bad Batch shuttle made out of a Barbie 747, I noticed that these pieces here that I wasn't going to use, the boosters, the rear tail and fin, and the front dashboard, rearranged in a different order, looked a lot like something from Star Wars. That works well with this little guy. It's the tail fin, the other part of the tail fin, two boosters, and then the cockpit control panel. Looks a lot like a S.T.A.P. So, simply you just pop out the two purple fins and flip them around. They just pop out with friction, just kind of clips in like a Lego. Now they're facing the right way. You just want to saw off the two little end fins off of there and that rocket blaster piece. So we saw those off. This is how they clip together. We're also going to saw off the little arm of the boosters. And then we're going to start putting it together. We're going to trim the bottom of that off and cut off that booster. And I'm putting everything together with hot glue because it's kind of a rough draft. I don't know exactly how it's going to fit, but basically like that. That's the main body basically done at that point. Gonna need the foot pegs and the top handlebars. So I start cutting up this. I was just gonna keep those handlebars as they are. That didn't work out, as you'll see later. But I'm gonna cut off those two sides and then flip those around to be the back side. And use that booster from earlier cut in half to be the blasters on the front end. So this was the basic idea, but you'll see it didn't line up properly. And I ended up having to cut off the handlebars and reattach them separately, and it looked much better. But first I went through the motions of building this thing to see what was wrong about it, which is a good thing about hot glue because it's not permanent. I tried using the cutoffs from the boosters to make the foot pegs, but they were too big and clunky. And this also turned out too big and clunky. So we're going to trim down that center section left to right and top to bottom. And rebuild it pretty much as is, scooting the handlebar pieces out further. So I did add, there we go, using popsicle sticks, some beer packaging to cover the gap here. Added those rockets, sanded them to fit. I know it's flat on the bottom, but man, personally, I think that looks pretty good. I'm pretty pleased with how that turned out and surprised. Alright, so I need to build the kind of the radiator pieces here. I'm going to do that out of cardboard too. Just strip glue and glue it on, and then I got to build the front details here. And it has like cutouts in the real thing, but I'm just going to kind of fake it. We'll paint it black. It'll be fine. So I just made this little piece out of cardboard. Cut some strips. Glued them on there. Nothing crazy. Just hot glued it on there. Paint it black and do some dry brush, and it'll look like a radiator. Couple random buttons and strips of cardboard, and when that gets dry brushed, it'll just have a little more detail, look like it does something. Didn't get too crazy on the underside here. I'm just gonna paint it. I don't know, I might put a couple popsicle sticks to hide that junk, but I'm not gonna get crazy underneath there. So using a little bit of craft foam and cardboard, I just paneled out top of that, and then I cut out the little circles, half circles. This is supposed to be cut out and hollowed out, but we're just gonna paint it black inside and it'll be fine. Actually, it looks pretty good so far. Just need to fill in the hole in the rocket and we can paint. Not quite ready. I forgot I needed the foot pegs, but I did this real simple. A couple ends of popsicle stick, wrapped it with a little bit of cardboard and a paper clip to hold it up. All right. Dun, 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 dun. Not too shabby. That doesn't look too bad. In the interest of being super lazy, I'm just gonna cut down a Yakult cup and shove it inside there to fill out the rocket. But actually, I think that'll look cool. Cut it down to less than halfway by, I don't know, 3/8 of an inch or so. And then glue it down to a cardstock, which I'll cut off. And then it should fit right in there. Cut it off. And viola. Perfect. That'll work. Looks good. And the pièce de résistance. Sorry for all the French. It's a little clunky. Rockets are too big. But I like it. I think it looks pretty cool. I think with paint it'll look alright. So this after black primer. Don't look too bad, huh? It looks pretty good. Couldn't find a perfect color, so I'm gonna go half territorial beige and half chestnut, and that seems to be pretty close to how it's supposed to look. Giant S.T.A.P or tiny battle droid, take a pick. Overdid the weathering, but I kind of like it.